Glad we didn't see it. Shaco, I hate that champion.
It is really annoying. I always ban it in my normals games.
In your normal games?
Yeah, and that's how you know.
Wait, you have bans in normals?
Yeah, normal draft.
I don't think I've ever played that.
Really?
Why would you play normal draft, not ranked?
Okay, enough about normals. Let's get into the fourth game for tonight. S9W versus DCG. I mean, already from the draft, it's going to be an interesting game. Hopefully it turns out to be not only interesting, but also a banger.
Yeah, okay, so he gets a very early ward here.
That's all you have to say, huh? Just an early ward.
Well, I'm kind of, I'm scouting the map. So they get the ward onto the wall. So I guess, there's a lot of solo starting jungle in the PCS. So finding out where the jungler starts, obviously, if you don't have a ward, is a lot more difficult. Karma's actually gone for the Comet full early game page, which I do respect. You kind of have to get something done on this lane.
Yeah, and what do you think about Calumnia on the Ahri taking the Unsealed Spellbook as well?
I mean, I think Unsealed Spellbook is good versus Rise. It gives you the cleanse later on, so you can avoid just the point-and-click route. But the problem is, again, you're the solo AP on your team. I feel like you need Electrocute. You might even need Ignite.
S9W already trading pretty heavily into this early game, but gonna be pretty even again. Like we've said a million times with this Lucian army, they can't just sustain it all up and do it all over again. Whereas S9W, they don't have that luxury, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think you really have to get quite a lot done, here. It's not enough to just come out of lane with a 10 CS lead. You're really expecting, kills or plates or something here, because I think you're not going to be able to carry into this comp as a Jhin unless you have a significant lead. And honestly, even if you get fed, it's going to be tough. I really don't think it's a great comp for Jhin to play against. But, I mean, he's picked it right. Must feel confident on the champ.
Yeah. Definitely a lot riding on the success of the S9W bot lane. It does feel like the other lanes don't have nearly as much agency as they do. They're really going to be depending on them to be able to play around. You can see Fear already passing down to the bot side. Hana mirroring that on the red team. Does spot out that ward. It's been a pretty common one. We've seen pretty much in every game, to be honest. But Hana looking to see what he can accomplish here.
Yeah, he has significant mid-pro.
Yeah, Fear did use the E already, but he's going to use the W to interrupt that, and does get smited away for Fear. So not too bad from him. But Hana really just trying to, cause some trouble. Disrupt, and actually he does have the inside track to the bot lane as well, so we'll have to see how deep he goes in here. Spots no one on the red buff, so he knows that Fear's around the Krug area or looking bot. Oh, that's a really bad trade for YJY. He does have the boots potion start, but you still don't want to be taking trades like that.
He's pretty low mana as well. They do have the bot prize, so I can probably just grab the scuttle, but obviously this isn't a big enough lead, really justify the pick. They're still going to have to get more done.
Yeah, it's not really even a lead at all, to be honest. Oh, Hanabi trading really well on Aurelia. He's going to have kill pressure here. Aurelia looking to see if he can clear the wave. Wow, he's really playing with fire here. Hanabi's body slam is probably up about now.
It might just have to back off, but...
Yeah, and this wave is in a really awful spot for him, too.
Yeah, Hanabi should pull this wave, and... Aurelia's... Yeah, that's really not how you want your Aurelia to be going. Ooh.
Oh, Hana still looking to stir up trouble. Is actually going to pick up
Wow.
Fear smites way too early, and Hana actually picks it up, and that's really devastating for Fear. On the back foot now, and Hana he's going to walk away smug. Oh.
Wow, lots of damage on YJY.
I'm surprised YJY is still taking this trade. Orca and Kriskata chasing, flashing forward, does get rooted up and stunned by the Fear, but does pick up first blood, dies to the tower. Orca now on the run from carries. I think he might be able to get out here. No route available anymore for carries. But Fear, after getting his red buff stolen, tries to get some revenge on the side of DCG.
Yeah. So it was a nice initial invade from Hana. Goes in with the mid priority, gets the red. But then on bot lane, DCG, they go for the all-in, knowing that jungle is near. And I think Kriskata could have killed him without flashing. I feel like there's a couple cancelled autos in there. I think it's still pretty good for them. Let's have a look at the replay. I feel like it starts off, pretty well. Poppy is still fairly far away. I really think he could have killed here. I think he cancelled maybe 2 autos. There's one.
Yeah, that's one. Oh, that would have been it as well. Yeah, that really sucks.
Okay,
Forced to dash and flash forward, and forced to die as well. Oh,
Oh,
actually
no.
dies again. Oh no, that's a caster curse moment, I feel like. He
Yeah.
just comes back to lane, instantly dies. Fear stuck around without basing and punishes, and now the wave, give and take. Now it's really bad for the side of DCG's bot lane. Twiscada just not being quite careful enough.
Yeah, I feel like the first death honestly isn't too bad. You die, you get first blood, it goes over to the jungler, and you shove the wave under, so that's not too bad. But this follow-up death, where you end up losing a ton of CS, feels really, really rough.
Yeah. But on the other side, very great for the S9W. We're talking about they need to get a bigger lead than just something like a 10 CS lead, and it's looking like it might be able to potentially shape up to something a bit bigger. Let's see how Fear manages to pull this one off. Twiscada just walking really far up, carries, flashes forward, gets the root, and Fear following up, gets the Gen W as well. And actually doesn't even need to use the little poppy dash, just walks up and takes him down.
Nesty actually has the red trinket already, so feeling confident enough that he's just always going to have prior, can't get ganked.
Ooh, that's interesting use of the body slam there. Trying to get away from the Fear, actually, so it does make sense. Hana, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, might look to start up the chem tip break.
Yeah, so they should be able to grab this. They do have quite a lot of mid-prior at the moment. I think Hanabi's wave might be in trouble. It's kind of hard to see on the map, but last we looked, it was kind of pushing away from him. So it has to be careful getting that one in. But this should be Dragon going over to DCG.
Ooh, Twiscada moving forward. That is a lot of damage. Is it still surprising you?
It does, man. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, how you kind of get used to just how much damage champs do, right?
Yeah.
And you get the limits. And I mean, I know it's like Lucian and Nami's damage, but
It just feels wrong.
yeah, it just doesn't look right when I see
Especially for
it.
bot lane, because I feel like a lot of bot lane trades, like if you don't have a Herc champion, it's usually quite small, but chunking someone out half HP just by dashing forward is, yeah, I'm gonna be glad to see that little bot matchup gone.
Yeah, now potentially a 4-man coming down here.
Oh, Hana Nesty in position.
There's no TPs up.
Budget Y pinned against the wall, does get bubbled and taken out by Nesty. He's looking for a second one as well. Does get picked up by Hana, but falls to the turret. 2 for 1 for DCG. That's not too bad.
Yeah,
Wave is in a good spot.
I think that's insane for DCG. You deny a lot of CS. The kill goes over to Karma, and there's no trade on the other side of the map. You don't see Fear go in and take camps. Herald's not up, so DCG, they kind of just get everything they want.
Oh, look, there it is. As is tradition, the pause for this game. Triggering a bit later on, we've seen it trigger in the first few minutes and even, after champ select as well. But, we get to look at a replay in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as that bubble hits, really, it's just game over.
I like how Nesty played that. He didn't have the rise up, so he just flashes the wall like a Chad.
That is definitely very based, as some might say.
Who are some? Am I some? But yeah, I mean, that's rough. I think that the problem is that Fear can't find a trade. He's not there in time, but also he's not in time to go in the enemy jungle, and it's really difficult to find a dive onto the Gragas. So ultimately, it just goes over, and while they might be able to start Herald here, it might be too late. Now, S9W, they're bringing their bot lane, so they're pretty committed to fighting this Herald. Will DCG match? I feel like you might be too late. Maybe you just go bot. Yeah, okay. It looks like Twiscada's just pathing bot. The Herald is going to go over, which is nice for S9W. If you feel good about getting that. Doesn't come at no cost, though. You do give up some CS on your gen to bring him all the way up here. Nesty should still be getting a ton of prior over mid, especially on these cannon waves. You can just blow these up. Look at that.
That is pretty satisfying.
It is, especially with that skin.
Okay, nice. In terms of mid lane items, Golubnia has got his little booties of lucidity as well as the lost chapter as well. So not a bad start for him, but Nesty has got a lot of ages to match that.
Yeah,
so.
That's pretty early. 9 in a row. Okay.
Well, again in the bot lane, seems to have calmed down a little bit until next half health Lucian trade.
Yeah, now DCG, they have to be quite careful here. Nesty actually just ulted back to the lane, but still is not going to have priority on this wave.
Oh, smited away from Fear. He gets his revenge. Hana forced a decoy over the wall.
Okay, they will get out. They will survive the window. It's very scary there when your Rise is not on the map and does not have prior. So just manage to back off. Don't lose too much there.
You ever watch Bob Ross?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how he has that thing about like the good times and the bad times?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you gotta have bad times, they have the good times or whatever.
Sure.
So this is a bit of a bad time for DCG, right? Bit of a lull period, but you can already tell it's going to start heating up in the next few minutes when the pressure ultimately shifts in their favor.
Yeah, Hanabi, he's doing fine. I mean, he's just doing Gragas things, right?
Yeah.
It's a very difficult champ to kill, and while Aurelia is going to build up a CS lead, it's almost like a fake CS lead, just because I feel like she's still going to have very little threat into Wukong Gragas.
Yeah, definitely. Via looking on the bot lane again. He's very quick, actually. Going to be dashing in here, but it's just going to clear like, oh, he's already hit his. Wait, how was he so fast there?
Was there a scuttle in the river?
Well, he was fast at the bottom of the room. Must be like water walking or something.
I guess, yeah.
Got a lot of move speed as well. But Hana is in the area to match. Rift pops off 2 plates.
Yeah, nice goal going over. At the same time, Via has spent a pretty long time in the bot river. Obviously, like, you don't really need CS on Poppy a ton, but could be time used elsewhere.
Oh, Hana finds Fia, carries his here to match as well, but Cascada and Orca are here. Fia goes down, shut down by Orca, and carries soon to follow. YJY doesn't want to step too close in. Calamity are forced to pop the Spirit Rush as well to get away. And good picks for DCG.
Yeah, Orca actually picks up both kills there, which I think is actually not too bad. Like, if you get the mandate earlier on Nami, it is pretty nice. Obviously, maybe you prefer it to be going over to the Lucian, but it's certainly not bad. I think, yeah, I don't know, Fear just kind of popped, and also, I think he'd used up all his tempo. You know, like, he'd already pushed in bot and had to come back, and during that time, they weren't securing mid-priority, so it's very risky to still be in the river after expending all that tempo. And actually, this man does not farm cams. He's just running straight back to pressure the map.
Does get spotted on a well-placed ward by Hanabi, so he's going to be taking a base there, TPing back. Full health, full mana. And the gold difference over time has started to swing in DCG's favor after that little skirmish in the bot river.
The Mandate and the Gale Force are both completed for DCG.
That is really scary at the gen.
Way before S9W at their items, and I think, you know, this might be a bold prediction, but I think there could be a bot lane 2v2 kill coming up in the next few minutes.
Oh, Nessie stepping pretty far forward, does manage to sidestep just far enough to dodge the wall stun from Fear. And actually drops a huge amount of damage on him, so you have to assume it's going to be the Dragon going over to DCG as well. Picked up by Hana.
Yeah, I think it will get picked up here. Pretty hard to contest now, given your item deficits. You know, you're down a core item on your mid AD and support here.
Yeah,
you definitely don't want that fight. You can maybe fight on this Bork Aurelia side, but it's just really hard to make headway into Gragas. I really like Gragas as a weak side top in this meta. It's just so hard to kill him, to poke him out. Difficult to dive as well.
Yeah, taking a step back to look at the overall game state, it feels like S9W are already starting to slip a little bit. Oh, Hanabi using the ult to clear. Very nice explosive cast. Fear and Calamity are both here though. Managed to charm and take him out. TPS here from Nessie, but a bit too late.
Ooh.
Doesn't quite manage to get the route onto Rel here. And they are going to manage to walk away with that one.
Yeah, definitely better than nothing from S9W. Hopefully nothing will be traded back.
Fear getting a bit too antsy there. Dropped pretty low. Hana solo in the mid lane, defending against 3. Does smite away the cannon, and it's going to reduce a lot of their pushing power.
Yeah.
SNW will pick up a plate for their troubles, but split between 3 people, not really what you want to see, especially when Cascada is soloing the bot tower.
Yeah, I feel like
that's a lot of
DCG
plates.
might actually be getting more ahead out of this, just giving so much gold over to this Lucian. And sure, like a kill on Aurelia is nice, but is she really going to be able to do anything? And Hanabi's actually bought a crown on Gragas, which I'm not a fan, I have to say.
He is not a fan. Yeah, I mean, it's not the...
It's insecure, that's what it is.
It's definitely insecure. It's not the worst game for it, and just stuff like the Aurelia, and I guess the Pop and Ari, where they're short range enough where if they use an ability, they're probably already trying to fight, but I feel like it's a different story when you reach the 5v5s against like the Jhin and the Karma. You know, if that pops before the fight, you're pretty much not getting any value out of the item.
Yeah, I think also it's just so much better to go Rod of Ages than Crown these days. There's really like not much reason. I guess the only reason is to be a little bit stronger earlier, but you know, I noticed Gragas early went for the Lost Chapter. He should still have enough mana with Tyr. I actually played a Rod of Ages Gragas game recently, and I can confirm it's good. Better than Crown anyway, at least in my opinion.
Really a crown hater, because Cascada dropping a huge amount of damage on the carrier, dropping him very low. If that culling was angled a little bit better, could have actually been able to take him out.
Yeah,
but
Karens did not have flash. I think if Cascada, yeah, like you said, angled the ultimate better, I think he should have died, which would have been just a nice pickup. And credit to SEM9 W, they've actually managed to avoid a little bit this kind of power deficit when, you know, Lucian and Nami have their items.
Yeah.
And they don't.
For sure, Carries has been able to pick up his Shurelias, and YJY will probably have enough for his Mythic as well once he bases. So yeah, definitely a window, and a bit of a bullet dodged for the side of S9W. Because we were very scared that they would just start to run over that bot lane, but managed to avoid that by just avoiding the lane completely. But really, explosive cast coming out from Hanabi, forces the flash from YJY, but it's not going to be enough. Gets stunned up, body slammed, barrel rolls out, and actually Carries is going to be to the rescue. Fia is here as well. Hanabi getting rooted once again, twice in a row, and he's going to be trying to drink as much of his brew as he can, but not going to be enough to stay alive in a 1v3 scenario.
Yeah, so dies on the weak side, which does feel bad, but at the same time did manage to pick up a fair amount of CS, and the trade ultimately is worth it for DCG. They break that mid tier 1. They do lose a lot of farm on top tower though. I mean, it's honestly pretty decent for S9W, I think.
Yeah.
All things considered. It's pretty even.
It does feel like for a play like that, you would expect S9W to be gaining a lot more, but like, you know, it's weird to be arguing like whether or not that ended up being good for DCG, because that's not what you want when you're making plays, right? You don't want to have this sort of heads-up play and then DCG end up ahead from it. But luckily it doesn't seem to be too much of the case this time.
Yeah, I think the Gragas can just soak up so much more pressure than either the Aurelia or the Jhin Karma can. So when those players are kind of, you know, those champs are forced to move away from their tower, you know, Gragas can just stay, ult the waves, and buy a lot more time. And even though he's 0-2, he's doing his job here, I think. You know, maybe he can avoid dying, but ultimately, like, not a huge lead has been snowballed against him.
Yeah, if you really want to optimize, I would say, you know, have that initial trade onto YJY, but, you know, leave when he drops the flash, because that's already like a huge, huge dub. Taking Jhin without his flash into the next team fight, Dragon coming up in 40 seconds, like, it's going to be rough for him to play that one. He's pretty much just going to have to sit all the way back and use his ult.
S9, they might look for a pick here. There is Hanabi's TP up, but I think this could be over before he gets here.
Calamity hops over the wall with the Spirit Rush, doesn't quite hit the Everfrost, but Charm does land. Realm Warp going to be interrupted, but Hanabi's here to the rescue. Body slams Rel here, slows him down. Calamity has one stack left on the Spirit Rush, but they're going to have to back off this time.
Yeah, and that's rough.
Yeah, in the meantime, DCG getting that mid push as well.
Yeah, that should be Dragon going over. Not only have S9 lost the position, but they've also just lost some very important cooldowns. No Ariel, no Aurelia ult.
And Cascada looking in on Fear as well. Has the Gale Force. Has the Flash as well, but chooses to save it.
Okay.
It would have been pretty close. I'm actually not sure if an auto would have killed him. I
think it would have, but I can kind of respect holding the Flash.
Yeah.
And this will be third Dragon going over to DCG. So even though the gold lead is very small, I feel like compositionally and with the Dragons, they're actually pretty far ahead. It's definitely difficult for S9W to play out this game. Now, they still have a very strong Aurelia. That's like basically the one thing they've got going for them here. But I'm not sure she's going to be able to play into this team comp. The Gragas Wukong just shut her down so much.
Yeah, it feels like the damage threats for S9W are pretty much just narrowed down to the Aurelia. I mean, Calumnia and YJY aren't too far behind, but really not, you know, enough to be a huge carry threat. Whereas on the side of DCG, you know, they've got a very, you know, scrappy team composition who really isn't afraid to take those river fights. So it's going to be pretty worrying for S9W when this next Infernal Drake spawns. Ooh, Hanabi getting stunned up. Actually taking a lot of damage. Explosive cast goes wide. Hanabi might be in trouble here. Relia finds the stairs window. Does get the flash up, forces the flash in return from Rel here, picks up that kill, but Orca is here. DCG are closing in. Hana gets kicked out of the map. Orca might be in trouble, has the flash. Cascada also in trouble. How is he in the middle of 4 people? Relia, Orca's in trouble. They're all in trouble one by one. The Jhin bullets come out from afar. And S9W might... Ooh, Han dodges the last charm with the decoy, but 3 for 0 for S9W. That is huge for them.
Yeah, really, really well played from S9W. I also think Fia's Poppy ult was really good. Knocked the Wukong completely out of that fight. I'm really not sure how Cascada ended up where he was. Yeah, I think DCG probably needed to play that a little bit slower. They had the collapse, but probably should just like wait out the Aurelia stacks and just wait for everyone to be a bit closer. Hopefully we'll get to see another replay of that. I just want to see how Cascada got there.
Yeah, how do you even end up there? Like, I can't imagine. I feel like the only way you can be there is if you close your eyes and just click around randomly for 5 seconds and see what happens. It really... I don't know.
He was on the widest flank of the century. That was like a 10-0 Lucian flank.
Does it count as a flank if you're like in the middle of all of them? That's a bit...
Look, he was flanking Aurelia, and he was getting flanked by everyone else.
I guess that's where SNW would least expect to find a Lucian, so... this guy might be cooking something up.
Yeah, SNW... Okay, let's see this replay. So it starts off... I think Aurelia played this whole thing pretty well. It was really nice to dodge this Greg Assault at the start. Yeah, this is definitely a good start. So it's all kind of looking good, but I don't know. Like the TPs come in from DCG and they're all collapsing on the map. Cascada just walks up the river and gets TP'd on. And then, yeah, so the ult comes out. I think the play is way too fast from DCG. And I feel like Aurelia has like stacks and Conqueror the whole time.
Yeah, it's really the dream fight for them, I guess, when your enemies throw themselves at you. Cascada ultimately jumping the gun a little bit that time, but hopefully he has learned his lesson. He's got the Gale Force and the Rapid Fire Cannon now, building towards his Infinity Edge apparently, and not the Navori Quick Blades.
Okay.
Meanwhile, YJY has got 2 big items to his name. Dragon timer is very slowly approaching though. SNW gonna start with the Baron.
Oh, I like this. Just going for it as the 2-man. I think you do it, like, you definitely have enough lifesteal to just keep doing it. Ooh, they get spotted out.
Ooh, they use the Scrying Orb. Now, how DCG going to respond? Cascada trying to trade in onto YJY, but they're clearing the wave. Oh, SNW are back. Poppy W knocks Orca out of the fire, and Cascada's is dead. Hanabi might be next. Hana's here with the Cyclone, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Hanabi gets taken out by YJY. Gale forces in and finishes them off, and now it might actually be a Baron angle for SNW, but they are very, very low. Nesty, he is a very scary rise.
Yeah, no, I think they can do this. They still have enough turn tools. They have that Aurelia ult, although they don't have Ari's ult, and she is pretty useless without it. I mean, DCG, if they play it well, I think they can contest.
Columbia has already been forced to stop watching. I can't see him getting out.
Oh, he goes down.
Hana going in. Oh, Relhia's in. He's meant to find an angle, but he's dropped very low. It's actually going to survive with the help of Carries' shield, and now Nesty is next. Let's see if he can kite this one out. Flashes forward for YJY, but isn't able to finish him off. But they're all so low. Nesty and Hana, the 2-man team, trying to see what they can do. Not going to opt to chase any further. A decent turnaround attempt from DCG, but not enough to pick up any kills aside from Columbia.
Yeah, that feels pretty bad. I think you could have got that Baron if you played a little better.
Yeah, the only good thing for DCG from that is that Dragon is up in 30 seconds, and because SNW spent so long around the Baron, they haven't set up any control in the spot side.
So taking a look at this replay, I can't even remember how this fight started. I think Cascada kind of engaged it again, which is sort of weird having the Lucian engage. Let's see, I feel like he took a lot of damage and then kind of got poked out. Are we watching the fight? I can't even remember. Is this how it started?
Have we traveled in time? When was this? S9W...
Okay, it was just like really, really bad.
Yeah, anyway, let's... hopefully we can jump back to the live view because there's a lot going on here. Kelly, that was a weird replay. Hanabi in trouble yet again. Explosive cast hits them towards him. Does flash out, but he's dropped very, very low. Does have the TP to get back, so he's going to try and copper base very quickly. But S9W, I think they're already... Oh, they're not quite going for the Dragon yet. And this is rough, giving Hanabi time to get back on the map. Columbia has TP as well, so he could have based. He's half HP. Dragon is now started up. He's channeling his base now, but it might be too little too late. He's forced to stay. And Hana, he's ready. He's waiting. Let's see. Poppy. Oh, ultimate does get interrupted. Dragon 1k does get picked up by Hana. That's going to be the Dragon Soul for them. Cascada doing as much damage as he can. Picking up 2 members. All Fears on the chase, but Nesty on the other side just cleaning up the entire backline of SNW. Only Carries remaining. Fear dies off screen. It was too brutal to witness for the spectators. 4 kills for 1. Hana being the lone death for DCG, but huge for them.
Yeah, S9W, I think they took that fight just before Aurelia ult was up, and when she's your strongest member right now, you have to have her your strongest in order to win that fight. Nesty in the backline, I think he was 1v3ing them for about 15 seconds.
You couldn't even see it. The focus was so much on the fight going around the Dragon Pit, but Nesty really just doing everything he can to clean up, and I mean that's a rise with Rod of Ages and Seraphs.
Yeah, I really want to see this replay. Like, I think the Aurelia ult must have been very close to being up, because you'd have to think an Aurelia with Flash and ult being this strong might actually be able to do something, but I think it was taken just a moment too soon. And yeah, Nesty in the backline, they just don't have a lot of damage, right? Like the Jhin and the Ahri, it's not enough. And okay, yeah, let's have a look at this. So pay attention to Nesty. He's just on the left side here.
Yeah, don't worry about the dragon. That's old news. Let's look at Nesty. He's just 1v3.
Yeah, and also if you pay attention to the bottom here, Aurelia does not have ult up for, I'm guessing, another 15 seconds here. So yeah, maybe played a bit too fast by S9W. Could have perhaps delayed the dragon. They were the ones that started it. If they could have just delayed until your strongest member had ult, until Aurelia was ready to go, might have been able to win it. Yeah,
ultimately though, Smite Fight does not go the way of S9W, and this is a really rough spot for them now. The Infernal Soul adds so much damage, and Nesty already packing a huge punch. This is definitely not the same Nesty we saw on day 3 last week. He's re-energized, he's confident, he's ahead, looking to close this one out for them. Top lane outer turret picked up for DCG. And S9W's control over the map is rapidly shrinking.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting to see where S9's lead has come from. You know, I think we were expecting the Jhin and Karma to get a bit more done, but it's actually the blind pick Aurelia that's the one who ended up strong, right? So perhaps a sign of life for this team in the future that Aurelia is doing so well, but in this game, I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, Aurelia really needs to find, you know, a dream angle, because there's so much disengaged from the side of DCG that it's hard to approach them front on. I feel like he needs to find some sort of side angle or flank to really get the fight going for them. Or have someone else set up for him, but ultimately there's not all that much that can. Maybe Fear with a wide flank, Calumnia with a charm, but I feel like you want to get some CC that hits more than one person, you know?
Yeah, I think I agree. I think this Ahri being the solo AP on the team, not managing to pick up any kills is definitely a little rough.
Yeah, now Nesty, he's got the Zhonya's in his back pocket as well, and if you thought he was playing like a Chad before, yeah, I'd hate to see how he performs in the next fight. He's going to be fully unleashed, and his Flash is coming up too.
And he's level 16.
And he's level 16, and he's got Infernal Soul Baron buff.
Yeah, he's not messing around anymore. So they still have 30 seconds on this Baron. They might be able to knock down this tower, but I don't think they'll be able to get any more, unless they can find some sort of engage. And they do have pretty decent tools. They got Gragasol and Wukong ult.
Yeah, really trying to milk this Baron buff for all it's worth. Picking up a bot side and a turret. I wonder what the next steps for them are.
I think...
Cascada's going straight forward. Almost completely disintegrates Calumnia and Fear on the back end of that with the second half of the culling. They dropped extremely low. Calumnia burns the Spirit Rush as well. Now that's really key. He's not going to be able to find any cheeky picks. YJY pops the curtain call, but Hanabi is just going to tank it all.
Yeah, a lot of cooldowns wasted for S9W. I think if you're DCG, you just keep pressuring. You don't really have a whole lot to be scared of. They could alternatively just play it safe, wait 2 minutes for their Elder.
Yeah, even more gold for them with those end turrets picked up. And S9W, if you look at the Fog of War, they've just got no vision at all. They're moving very far forward. Tidal Wave hits too. YJY is forced to flash away, but he's still going to survive on barely 1 HP. But Rel here does not have the same luck. Gets dropped down, and Realm will pin from Nesty. He's here. But the fight is already over. Rel here not able to find anything. Does die with the flash up, but you know, just too much disengage from DCG. He gets locked down and taken out of the fight.
I feel like that was a really weird engage from S9W. Like, sure, this time your Aurelia is strong, but you just used Ariel and Jinal. Both were missing.
Yeah, Columbia dropped so low with 2 autos from Cascada, and yeah, I mean, the tidal wave from Auckland last fight. But Columbia dashes forward. He's got a death wish. I mean, he gets what he asked for. Cascada, you know, makes his death extremely swift, and now Elder Dragon up in 1 minute. Oh man, I mean, they're already one-shotting S9W. They're gonna... I feel like Cascada's, you know, gonna dash forward and just, you know, breathe on any member of S9W. They're gonna get chunked out like crazy.
Yeah, at the same time though, I don't even think Cascada has to dash in. I mean, Hanabi just mind controlling Columbia to dashing into him, so his job's kind of done for him. But 30 seconds on this Elder. They have both the mid and bot inhib, and they have so much bot side control. I think S9, you kind of have to contest it, but I think you're just you're about to get aced. And you feel that, right? Like, I think S9, they kind of know that their position is in a really tough spot here, but what can you do? You kind of have to contest, or maybe they'll try and give it up, but, you know, giving up both Elder and Baron, I wouldn't say it's a winning strategy.
That's not optimal. Don't need to buy coaching to figure that one out. But DCG going to maintain control of the bot side jungle. Well, now, and the mid lane prior as well. SEM9 really just looking to see what they can get from here. Rel here already dropped to 50 HP. Fear jumps forward to try and deny it, but gets swept up by the tidal wave and eliminated by Cruzcada. Now Hanabi's looking for the explosive cask. Flashed away by Calumnia.
Yeah, and I think that should be Elder picked up. And they can just go... They probably just go play mid top side and just grab the dragon while you're at it, and then... Yeah, I think that'll pretty much be it. Having those two inhibs down makes it really, really tough for S9 to contest, and I don't know, it's obviously it's a pretty tough situation, right?
Yeah.
It's very hard to regain control there, and I think Rel here especially can't afford to get chunked out because he's just so much of his team's damage. And Fear, you know, he tries to cancel the Lucian ult, but just, yeah, it kind of pops.
I mean, definitely a team player. But it feels like for DCG it's a matter of when rather than if. You know, they've got the Baron buff and the Elder Drake, and they're one-shotting S9W, making them drop like flies. Cruzcada is so scary on the Lucian. Pretty much full build now. He's got an elixir as well, so really packing a punch. And, you know, the stopwatch as well, really just denying any entryway that S9W might have. Even if they find some sort of miracle angle, maybe Cruzcada will do his little mind control 1v4 flank again, who knows. It feels like S9W need that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nesty pushing in mid-wave.
Yeah, they're just going to be able to walk in the waves with Elder and Baron. S9, they don't have a lot of wave clear from this far behind.
Yeah, I just want to see the numbers on Cruzcada's next culling. 2 inhibs.
They're going to be big numbers.
3 inhibs now for DCG. They're walking in, hitting the Nexus turrets now as well. S9W not really looking for any sort of fight. I'm hoping they look for something at least. Hanabi does already have his explosive cast down. Relia looking in, but the culling comes down. Relia dropped very low. Not going to be taken out yet, but Cruzcada flashes forward. Hanabi finds Calumnia as well. YJ getting completely deleted. Cruzcada still looking for more Realm Orb into the base. Let's see if they can pick up the rest of the members of SNW here. They're going to do it very easily, not even losing any HP at all. Hanabi does lose his whole health bar, but ultimately, DCG, very dominating win from them for our 4th game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the kills are actually kind of close. I think it was 18 to 13 at the end, but you're right. It was very dominating, right? I think it was 4 dragons to 0, and I think given the comp difference, you never felt like they were in trouble, right?
Yeah.
Like even DCG, and they had, I think at some point Gragas was like 0-4-0. You know,
Yeah, he was actually not having too good of a game.
Yeah, exactly, but it really just didn't matter. I think the comp difference was actually insane. I really feel like Jin Karma is, I want to say trash, but I think that it could work if you've got a big enough lead, right? But they didn't manage to find that lead, and so they just, couldn't really team fight into the Wukong Gragas. And the Rise as well, right? Like